everybody, I'm Kirsty of First Melodies, your first steps into music, melodies and making memories, and this is the follow-on video for the circle of fifths. So if you don't understand the basics of circle of fifths yet, I don't advise you watching this video, especially if you're a child that does not come to my one-to-one lessons, because this will confuse you lots. But you are still welcome to watch the video, you just might not understand everything behind it because I'm just answering a specific question here for somebody who asked me. So today I'm going to be explaining how you use the circle of fifths to produce a song, and how do you know what chords to play, and how do you know how to make a song more interesting.
Okay, so since we already know that the pizza slices represent which chords go together, now we just need to decide how do we expand that. So firstly we need to understand that in each key there are 7 chords, which we already know because these are in our pizza slices which we've learned. And each of these are numbered in Roman numerals, which I've briefly told you about. One thing I didn't mention is that major chords are always written in uppercase Roman numerals, and minor chords are always written in lowercase Roman numerals. So let's have a look at the C again. So C, it's a major chord, so it's written in uppercase, D minor lowercase, E minor lowercase, F uppercase, G uppercase, A minor lowercase, and B diminished lowercase. Because B diminished, they are triad chords, which includes the root, which is B, a minor third, which is D, and a flat fifth, which is F. The first 2 notes are the same as those in a minor triad. The difference is the 5th note that we play. And also you can add a 7th for a 7th diminished chord, which would be an A flat, but that goes on anyway. Going off topic. Basically, these Roman numerals show us different popular chord progressions that we can use. 2 of the most popular chord progressions in Western modern music is 1, 5, 6, 4, or 1, 6, 3, 5. So C, G, A minor, F, or C, A minor, D minor, G. So I'm going to show you all of the chord progressions now. There's 6 of them, and you can kind of see what chords you use in relevance to which number they are in Roman numerals. Now notice that they all start with the root note, which is C, and then they all end with its dominant, which is G, which is the next one in the circle. And it's like that just because it just sounds right if you've got trained ears. And that's why when you listen and hear music, that is the best way to create music. But then plus being experimental expands that a little bit. But a lot of people that don't have an ear for music, these popular chord progressions are the type of chord progressions they're used to listening to and understanding, and so it just sounds right to their ear, which is why they're so popular in Western and popular music, and they never get boring. So many songs are written just using these chords, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But say you wanted to expand that a little bit, that's when you have to expand your knowledge beyond the pizza slices. So what you can do is have a mess around, change your Roman numerals formula, create new chord progression. But please also remember that in music there is no rule, and you don't always have to do things the way the book tells you to do it or the way it is normally done, because music is art, is music, and music is your expression. So just do whatever sounds right to you. There is no right or wrong answer, and doing things a little bit differently can put a surprise in your music and make people go, whoa, they're different. So it's not wrong to do things outside of the rule book. Putting that aside, the next thing you can do is look at your key signatures. Now, they can be important because it tells you what notes and chords to play in sharps and flats for each key. And it also expands your chord range a little bit too. So how do you use the circle of fifths to find this out? I'm going to show you simply now so you can understand it a little bit better. But all you have to do is remember these 2 formulas. So the order of sharps are F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And the order of flats are, here's the word bead again, B, E, A, D, G, C, F. Now if you remember those orders, then you're on your way to understanding sharps and flats right away. So all you need to do is if you go clockwise around the circle, you add 1 sharp every time, and anti-clockwise, you add 1 flat every time. So let me show you here, right now on my diagram, and you'll see what I mean. But let's have a look at the first couple. So for sharps, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, because there's no sharps or flats. And then if we look at the circle, our first order of sharp is the F. So with our G key, we then have to make sure we add an F sharp. So it goes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Then we look at the next letter in the order of sharps, that's C. So in our next key in the circle D, we have to add a C sharp too. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. Let's do one more. Next in our circle is our A key. So now if we have a look at order of sharps, we have to add our G sharp. So A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp. And it goes on the whole way around the circle. And it works for the other way around too. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, then we're going to look at order of flats. So next we want to find out what's in our key of F. So the first letter in our order of flats is B. So F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. Then the next one is in our circle is our B key. And the next one in the order of the flats is our E, so we have to add an E flat, so B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, and so on and so on. So I said that pretty quick, so you can pause the video and have a look to see the pattern. But now you know what notes and chords have sharps and flats in each key just by using the circle. And it's simpler than you thought, isn't it? Just by remembering the order of sharps and flats and the order of the circle, you're sorted. So the next thing to think about is how can we expand our chords? So let's take our C chord again, for example. We could expand it into any C chord. So we could add a C7, for example, or a C6. And in one of my original songs, I used the chords C, C7, A minor, F, and they still gel together nicely. The C7 just gives it a little bit of an extra bluesy feel and a different sound to the typical sounding chords that you use in the pizza slice. So if you take a look at the song The Beatles, Hey Jude, they actually use F, C, C7, C7 sus4 in their chords for their verse, and so on, as an example anyway. Have a look and you'll see for yourself. But it may not work with all chords, but it's worth checking out some varied C chords to see if they sound cool with your song. Again, use your ear for that. And plus it gives you a little bit of practice and you can add your sharps and your flats, etc. But yeah, less typical chords you get a chance to learn. Even if you don't include them in your song in the long run, you can just have a go and play around and make your song sound a bit more interesting, or maybe add a new kind of genre or feel to it. Now another thing you can also do is expand outside the pizza slices. You're going to go, huh? How do I do that? Well, it's all kind of about build-up. So again, if you look at the song Hey Jude by the Beatles, they actually use a range from the G right to the B flat. So their verse being F, C, C6, C7, C7 says 4, and then they add a B flat, and then the chorus adds a G minor and a G minor 7, and then on the outro, which is then na 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 Hey Jude, they expand right up to the E flat chord, which if you look at the circle, it's like, it's so far away from each other, how does that work? But it's actually genius and it works really well, and in fact it's the favourite part in the song for many people because it's not a typical chord of the circle of fifths that you would use in the pizza slice, but it builds up really nicely and works really well in the song. So F being 1, B flat being 4, E flat being 7, and back to F, which is the root note 1. So yeah, it works. All you have to do is experiment and try to use as many chords as you can in the circle, and sometimes you'll be surprised how many of them actually work together if you build them up in the right way. I even had an experiment myself and tried to use as many chords in the circle as I could. So watch this video and I'll add the chords that I'm playing as I play it so you can see what I do. do with what sounds good to you, as you can tell. There's no correct way in music or rule. I keep telling you this, to trust your ear. The main trick is to just experiment. Don't be typical and, you know, just be unique and experiment in music, and you'll be surprised how much you can learn and expand your way of playing. So I just want to briefly tell you one other way you can expand your use of the circle of fifths. And yeah, it would take a lot of explaining, so I'm just going to explain this to you very, very, very simply. But I discovered these chords when I was listening to the radio, and I heard Hold My Hand by Jess Glynn for the first time. So when she sings, break my bones, but you won't see me fall, it's just made me tingle inside and say, whoa, how did she do that? That sounds so cool. So obviously I looked into it and I discovered that she used something called median chords, and I am now absolutely obsessed with them. So these chords can appear in major and minor keys and can add a bit of unpredictability to your music, which is the thing that made me go, oh, when I heard this song. It gives a fresh sound to the harmonic direction, but with prolonging the tonic harmony. Have a listen to the song and you'll see what I mean. But they are chords with roots a third apart that share only the common tone and have the same quality. I say they're genius chords. They're also really easy to work out when you know how, but I would be jabbling on forever if I also added an explanation of the median chords too. But it's just something to think about in an extra thing that you can look into to expand your songs, because I absolutely love them, and I'm sure that modern Western music absolutely accepts them too, whilst giving a little bit of unpredictability, but also sticking to the kind of the same usual ways that the circle of fifths works. But again, I'm not going to get into it because it's not really for beginner students, but it is something that you might want to think about if you want to step up your music and you expand your knowledge a little bit further and your understanding, because I absolutely love them. So yeah, I think I've covered everything I need to, and I really hope that this helps you to expand your music in ways you never imagined you could.
Anyway, yes, I hope this is as helpful as it could be. I hope I've answered your question, hopefully, as best as I can. Let me know if I missed anything that you might want to know about, or any kind of follow-up videos I can do to explain myself to you a bit better, because I want to show you and explain to you in the best way possible. Hopefully it has helped, and yes, enjoy the rest of your day, week and year and life. And I am Kirsty, your first Melodies, your first steps into music, melodies and making memories, and I will see you very soon. Bye!